Teufel players has a different version of what happened and who is at fault.
That's typical of what arrests that are made by some Houston police officers. Yeah, I think they were too rough. I don't think they needed to be arrested at all. The true facts will come out in the trial.
The case will now be assigned to a grand jury, and team members have been given permission to leave town. But if indicted, they'll have to return to Houston for further arraignment. Teufel and Darling were not the only members of the New York Mets who were arrested.
His game with the Astros. Now, Corey McFerrin is here with the results of that hearing. Corey.
All right, Rolanda. Second baseman Tim Teufel and pitcher Ron Darling waived their right to a preliminary hearing on charges they assaulted two Houston policemen working as security guards at the bar. A grand jury is scheduled to get their case tomorrow, and if Teufel and Darling are indicted, they'll have to return to Houston for arraignment. In court, the two had nothing to say about the bar incident. Police say it started when Teufel was asked to leave the bar for causing a disturbance. He tried to take his beer outside, which is against Texas law. And a scuffle broke out when the off-duty cops tried to stop him. Bob Ojeda and Rick Aguilera were charged with hindering an arrest.
I'm disappointed that this is the way Houston police officers treat visiting athletes. We've got a whole slew of maybe 1,000 Olympic athletes coming in next week, and if we're going to give them the kind of reception that these fellas did when they wanted to do a little relaxation, we're in bad shape.
A preliminary hearing for Ojeda and Aguilera is scheduled for Friday. However, they don't have to be present. They face a misdemeanor charge, but Teufel and Darling face up to 10 years in jail if convicted. Meantime,
the judge had plenty to say.
This is in L.A., Chicago, or New York. I take that as a point in the Bible as a citizen of this community in the Houston Police Department. It's not as absurd and ridiculous as we make the statement that if I raise or say there's a pot raise in the town, this is not good.
Mets manager Davy Johnson admitted he did make a comment about the city, but only that he was surprised as a former Texas Aggie the incident happened in Houston.
I said that, you know, it's amazing that it hasn't happened in New York, Chicago, L.A., all the big cities where there's more unruly fans and more unruly places to go. It's amazing to me that it would happen in my home state, Texas, and Houston.
This is where it all happened. Cooter's, a sports bar and singles hangout in Houston. Police say that Tim Teufel was in here just before 2 a.m. on Saturday morning. He was loud and they asked him to leave. At the door, a uniformed off-duty policeman told him that under Texas state law, he couldn't walk out of the place carrying his drink. Tim Teufel gave up the drink and left with pitcher Ron Darling. Police say it was outside that Teufel became abusive.
Teufel allegedly hit him in the groin, and it was at this point that Mr. Darling apparently tried to intervene in some manner.
Cooter's workers were hearing from New Yorkers, too. The phone line to the bar was busy all last night. The word was some New Yorkers were calling long distance and sounding off. The Mets leave Houston today, but if the Houston prosecutors proceed as expected, some Mets players will be back in town.